of like tiptoeing around the situation. And I was doing the same thing, and I was sitting at home and I was feeling this emotion and watching the videos, watching the posts and the reading stuff. And I'm like emotionally moved, and I'm like, well, oh my gosh. So I'm having these conversations with my friends. And like I said, I am from a predominantly white community. So a lot of my friends, a lot of the people in my corner are white. So it wasn't necessarily a conversation that I was, excited or, was anticipating to happen. And they know that it was a touchy subject to bring up to me. So it's just kind of like, oh, you heard about this? Yeah. And then nobody would really want to like talk about
it.
So my best friend, we were having a conversation, and she was like, you know what? I love you, and you know where my heart is. And I want to tell you that, like, as a white woman with Black friends living in this area, like, she goes to WVU, so it's a little bit different. She has a little bit more cultural diversity, but she's like, yeah. I don't know what I can do. I don't know what I can say. I don't know what the right thing to say is. I don't know what you guys want from us. I don't know how to help, but my heart is there. So my heart's there, and I want people to see that, and it's genuine, and I want to know what I can do, or you know what I mean? So I'm like, geez, like I have certain feelings on that. And like I said about listening and how that's so big right now that a lot of people aren't doing. And I was like, you know what? I have this platform. I have all of these emotions, and I'm like, I would say I'm okay at speaking. I can talk to people. I can.
No, you're an amazing public speaker. For someone so shy, you're really good at projecting the way you feel.
How to project the message, for sure.
You're really good. You're good, really good public speaker. I don't know how much time to say really, but you're a good public speaker.
But yeah, so I was like, you know what? I have this platform. I have this very unique situation living in this area. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people who don't get it here, who get me, and they know me, and they love me, and they watched me for years grow from a kid to an adult who I am now.
Oh.
They followed me in college. So if there's anything I can do to speak out, and if they will listen to me, of all people, you know what I mean? I think there's a chance that even if I can get into somebody's head and change something that somebody's feeling, or, make somebody feel a little bit better or heard, because there's so many voices that aren't heard right now. And a lot of people feel like, you can take this to voting, you can take this to anything. A lot of people feel like their individual, attempts aren't noted, like nothing, a lot of people say it all the time, like, well, shit, if I do this, if I say something, if I post something, what does it matter? There's hundreds of thousands or millions of people out there.
That's what people don't understand.
It's just everyone's different. Everyone's different. I feel like I realized that especially when I got to college. Because I'm over here, my crazy alley coming in. I'm thinking, oh, like, what's up? Everybody's going to like me. And I realized, like, oh, hold up. There's a lot of people way more different than I am, and I'm getting judged. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, hold up. I got to, like, learn how to deal with certain people a certain way.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like what you're saying, it's influencing people and bringing out, like, I'm not scared to say how I feel. Like, I'm not bashing anybody.
Yeah.
I'm saying respectively, and that's exactly what you did in that video. So, oh, my God, that was amazing. I love it.
I hope that I got a lot of positive, messages back, and people, that said, wow, like, I knew you in high school, and I kind of watched you in college, but I am so thankful for watching this and seeing you grow as a person, and, taking your time to be calm and collected and speak to people who have struggled, like
your voice,
being an advocate and using their voice. So thank you for doing that, but there's obviously, when using that platform, there's also going to be people that disagree and people who don't.
100%.
So I didn't necessarily prep myself for. Yeah, I didn't think,
You received a lot of hate?
Say it again?
You received a lot of hate?
I wouldn't say a lot, but I recently, a friend sent me some messages that somebody sent to her, and I'm not going to repeat any of the messages and some of the things that were said, but it's just like, I found out a couple days ago, and it was like, so just like nothing short of heartbreaking hearing that and thinking, I'm putting this message out, I'm doing this for good, and I'm getting so much positive feedback, and I felt so like energized and refreshed, and I was like, I'm doing something good, and all I want to do is help people. And then I read these messages, and it's like, like some of the stuff that was said was just obviously disagreeing with what I was saying, but then coming at me as a person and saying, well, what do I know? Because this, that, and the third, and they're just assuming I've never been through these experiences, and they're saying, how can you share this? Because da 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 da. And we're not going to get into the looting and the rioting and stuff, but
For
it
sure.
talks about that, and it talks about that kind of stuff, and then it was personal attacks on me and my family, and that's when it hurts. But that's even more of a reason to get my message out and to keep posting positive things and using my voice and using my articulation to be able to speak to
Just
people that don't understand.
The
it's
biggest
just,
thing is, like, I feel too, like, you had every right to post that message and to even like send it across that platform, because what you did was much better than obviously just staying quiet. I think
Right.
during these times when you stay quiet, it speaks high in volume. That's the saying we're hearing over and over
Yeah,
again.
and I agree with that, but at the same time, there's something that I've been wanting to say for a long time.
say it, baby. Say it.
And I see the posts and I see people saying, "Oh, your silence speaks volumes and your silence is deafening," and we're taking notes on your lack of
Mm.
advocacy. And I completely see where people are coming from with that, and I know what they're trying to say, because it is important to speak up on this and to show that you are hurt by this, and that as an American, as a human, these things are upsetting to you. But at the same time, I know people. There's a handful of people that I know, and I can say, like, you know what? I've heard you say some stuff that is suspect, and I know how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I would never judge anybody, because I think that anyone can turn around and anybody can
Everyone's different.
Yeah.
I think that there's
Can't
no
judge. Yeah.
helplessness or whatever to anybody. So if I can do something to change your mind, I'm going to try in the best way I can. But what I don't appreciate is the like the large capacity of posts that are coming out that I can tell are disingenuous, which really bothers me, because I know people are posting for clout, for saying, like, oh, I posted, I got my free pass, like, I'll post the black screen and I won't make any comment or anything under it,
There's
for
more to
Blackout
it.
Tuesday.
Exactly.
I'll post a post so people don't look at my Instagram and see that I'm not doing what everybody else is doing. I'm not doing the right thing. But I'm not educated. I haven't looked into any resources. I don't know the first thing about what's going on in our news and why people's hearts are breaking. All I know is what I feel, what I can assume, what is in my closed mind. And I can see through, people's authenticity. And that is kind of what bothers me. So yes, I will say that the silence speaks volumes, but at the same time, if you are choosing to speak out and to make these posts or to whatever,
do it genuinely.
Please educate yourself.
Exactly. It has to be
Please
genuine.
have some sort of, authentic, care and emotion, because if it doesn't move you, if you're not posting something for, out of the kindness of your heart or because you want to see a difference, I would rather you be silent. You know what I mean? I would rather, this is a very radical statement, but I would rather somebody come out and say, you know what, I'm racist. I don't agree with this. I support this, that, and the third. I would rather know that is exactly how you feel.
You'll respect that more.
I respect that so much more. Clearly, I have some differences of opinion with your beliefs, but I respect that so much more than, bringing somebody into my home, calling somebody my friend, they're smiling in my face, and behind closed doors, the conversations that they're having are no different than the other guy that came out and is posting the stuff on Facebook, talking about, how he thinks, the rioting and, the murder was justified and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what my 2 cents on that. Like, I just need people to be more genuine. And I am not going to specifically call out anybody as bad as I want to right now, but there are a lot of athletic organizations that are only posting now and that are only making these mass statements because people are reaching out upset.
You know what's crazy too, to add to what you're saying, I could see that you're very passionate about it. Was
I'm getting worked up right now.
No, 100%. I know someone who's close to me who's a cop, and he has a feeling like, hey, like, not all cops are mean or bad, and he's been posting things saying that And he even posted a post like, hey, like, you can unfollow me, you can whatever. And I swiped up and I said, bro, I respect you. Like, do that. Speak your mind because you're being genuine about it. You know, it's like everyone has different views on different things. And you're a cop and I can see why you feel the same way you feel. And you got to respect that, you know?
People are hurt. I have people in law enforcement too.
And
it's like, geez, you are in a position that is very different than a lot of other people. You know what I mean? And it, you know, I'm not gonna exactly compare it, but like people are looking at you and judging you the same way people look at Black people and judge Black people. So now you have a little bit of a taste of what that feels like. But at the same time, I see your point and I see why they're hurting, and I completely support. You know, I completely support that opinion, and I don't think that all cops are bad, and I completely agree. It's just a very interesting time, and I can't tell them how to feel because I don't know, you know, what it feels like to wear a uniform and, you know, support what I'm saying, but be looked at in complete spite and hate and an opposite feeling. So now this is my turn to listen and to learn and educate myself on what they're doing. You know what I mean? And how they feel. So it goes both ways. There's so much learning and stuff.
So much learning to do. So much learning. We don't have all the answers, and that's something that you're saying right now. It's like, just be honest with yourself. Like, just be truthful with what you're trying to say and the message you're trying to portray during these times. And that's 100% true. I mean, we used to have these conversations. We had this conversation right before the whole quarantine happened. We were having a conversation about a topic around this. We're not going to get really into that, but we said, you know, hey, some things are different. And one of the things, I'll be honest with you, and I'll say it on here, is a lot of people look at me like, wow, you're really close to the basketball team. And it's for the same reason that they understand me. You know, it's a lot easier to connect with people that understand you. Yeah. It's a lot easier to be with people who you don't feel like are judging you. You know, it's like, hey, I'm myself. Like, I may not be perfect, but this is who I am. Yeah, and it's just one of the things that I've realized too, after my accident, I've realized I pick people to be in my life now because of that. People are going to add to your life because, unfortunately, I feel like racism is going to be it's hard. It's like, I can't change how you feel. And if you don't like me, I'm going to just ignore you and continue on. And that's just a huge thing. And
it's interesting because a lot of people, like, there's completely different opinions on that. And some people want to make it their job to change people's minds. And I will flat out say it right now. I will speak out and I will say my piece to do my best, but I am never going to have that argument, that heated discussion to necessarily, like, that's going to get bad and ugly and hateful things are going to be said. I will say my piece and you can listen to me or you cannot, but I really think that it's hard to find answers. It's hard to find any answers. You know, my best friend, you know, comes to me and she's like, well, what can I do? Or I was with my friends. I was hanging out with my friends when I found out about all these negative comments that were said about me. And I'm visibly distraught. And they're my friends. So they're like, what can I do? I'm so sorry. Like, this shouldn't be happening, you know, trying to, you know, say things to make me feel better. And they're like, what can I do? Is there anything I can do? And truthfully, I said, you know, thank you for being there for me. And thank you for, you know, listening and, you know, wanting to make me feel better. But I don't have the answers. And a lot of people don't have the answers right now. So it's
like I said before, you know, it's just, you know, people that, you know, that aren't of color, like myself, you know, they have to, again, like, educate themselves, but also, you know, have conversations with people of color. So for instance, you know, I'm sure your teams, they also do like team Zoom meetings like every weekend. And, you know, we had a very deep one yesterday, and we were just talking about, you know, the current events that's been going on, as well as, you know, sharing, you know, individual stories on, you know, how they were been mistreated by the, you know, police force. And it was just hard. It was sad. It was just like, you know, I've never been in that situation again, like I said, but, you know, hearing their perspectives, hearing how they've gone through it, you know, it's just, it opens your mind a little bit and you kind of understand now, like, where this pain is coming from. Yeah. And, you know, people just have to learn to, you know, accept, again, I'll say it, like, the white privilege is real, you know, and you have to accept it. But nevertheless, you have to not only acknowledge it, but, you know, make a difference and give your voice. And that's what people have to do, rather than, like I said, just stay quiet, stay in one space and not vote or something like that.
I think Lauren hit it on the top of the head. Just educate.
Educate, exactly.
Educate. One thing I really wanted to become strong.